In this video, we are going to be talking about my problem with Creed. I've been collecting fragrances now for the last 8 years, and over that time I've tried every single Creed fragrance, apart from the exclusive line and a few of the discontinued ones. So I've tried all of the mainstream Creed fragrances out there. And as a fragrance collector and someone that is really into this, and I've spent loads and loads of years and loads of money, which if you're also a fragrance collector, you'll probably know. But I've spent a lot of money, I've spent a lot of time, and I've spent a lot of research into all the different fragrance notes, like the quality, what not to look for, like the synthetic ones, the difference in stuff between niche and designer. And for me personally, Creed is one of the most influential perfumers out there, and in my opinion, I think they do some of the best fragrances out there. I know there's all that stuff to do, like the ghost perfumer and stuff like that, but that's a completely other video which we'll go into. But from my experience, the Creed line, the Creed house, are just a luxury brand, and it's just a really nice looking brand. I really like how everything's done. I know obviously the luxury side of things is questionable, like I said, but for the most part, I really enjoy a lot of their fragrances. Creed was also my kind of entry level to the niche market, and funny enough, I don't actually own any Creed fragrances, and that's why I wanted to make this video, because I was like, I love every single one of the Creed fragrances out there. Like, I really do like them. I've got a lot of respect for them, but I don't know which one to buy. I don't even know if I'm going to buy any. And I'm actively looking on their website right now for what fragrances that I could possibly pick up. And being in the community for a while, I know there's a lot of clones out there. I know there's a few which aren't the best. I know there's a lot of different alternatives out there. And I actually own quite a lot of the alternatives out there. But I was just looking on the website, and there's just really nothing that I can see myself getting. And we'll go through the different reasons, and that's kind of my biggest problem really with Creed, is I really want to buy a Creed fragrance. And whenever I first started, I thought it was so much money and stuff like that, but well, I mean, it is, and their price is continually going up and the quality is continually going down. So I mean, whenever I first started, I was about 15, 16, and I didn't really have the funds available to actually go ahead and buy one of these fragrances. But now I'm a little bit older, and I'm in a position where I can comfortably buy some different Creed fragrances, and I'm on the website, and I've been stuck. Like, for the last 2 days, I do not know what one to get, and we'll cover the reason why. Now, like I said, I own a few different clones of some very popular Creed fragrances. For example, I own 2 bottles of this one, and it's probably the most talked about clone ever, I think, and that's Club de Nuit Intense Man, which you probably already know. Now, I don't want to pick up a Ventus, number one, because I've got this, and I know obviously, like, the quality of all the clones, Creed just knocks everything out of the park. I know that. Like, I know Creed does really high quality ingredients, and there's nothing like synthetic in there. It's all natural ingredients, and I know that's great. And that's not me disputing the fact that the Creed fragrances are better. Like, they are a lot better quality, 100%. There's no doubt about this. This, compared to Ventus, smells absolutely just gone off almost. The start of this one is very synthetic. I mean, I've got different. I've tried different Creed samples. I've tried every single one compared to the clones that I've got here, and there's no comparison when you really, really get into it, when you really know what to look for, the difference. But as a regular consumer, and most other people out there, they aren't really going to tell the difference. And whenever I first started getting into fragrance collecting and stuff like that, it was mainly for compliments, I'll be honest. But whenever I got further down the rabbit hole, I got really interested in the art form of perfumery and all the different stuff like that. And if I was to buy a Creed, which I am now, I'm going to be buying it for myself. Like, I'm going to be buying it purely for the artistic factor. and like all the different ingredients and stuff like that. And I know that whenever I wear it, I will feel I'll feel good because it's a Creed fragrance and the quality's there. And I know, like, if I were to get it for myself, I wouldn't care what other people really have to think. But that is my problem, because I have all these different clones and I do like the smell of them. Like Aventus, Club de Nuit Intense Man, is the clone for that. I only wear Aventus for compliments, so why not just choose this? Because the projection is longer, it lasts longer, and like most people can't even tell the difference. Like whenever I go out, I'll just spray it on myself and I'll say I'm wearing Aventus. No one's going to challenge you on that. Personally, I couldn't see myself buying Aventus, especially nowadays, because with all the different batch variations, apparently now it's just not what it used to be, which is true. It's just not. Which is why I'm just going to stick with this one. I'm not going to go out and buy myself a bottle of Aventus just yet, especially not for my first Creed fragrance, I don't think. So this one, for me, for my situation, I prefer to just have this instead of Aventus. So that one's out of the list. I can't buy Aventus because of this. Another popular Creed fragrance, Virgin Island Water. For me, I live in the UK and it's cold for about 80% of the time in the year here. So what I actually did was, instead of buying some of the more higher end clones, I know you've got Gorse is one. I know you've got, what's the other one? There's a new one that's come out. I can't really remember the name. Malibu, that's it. Malibu Party in the Bay, I think that's what it's called. Apparently that one smells very similar, but with more lime in it. And I actually really like the lime factor in Virgin Island Water, and that's the main reason why I enjoy it, is for the lime. Which is why I actually went out and purchased, back in the day, I actually went out and purchased this one. Set Sail St. Bart's. And this one isn't actually that close, to be honest, to Virgin Island Water, but it just smells on the same kind of vibe. Like it's like a tropical cocktail smell to it. Like it, in terms of the actual smell, it tastes, in terms of the smell, it's nothing like it, but it's on the same idea. And this one is that like rum, lime, alcohol, saltiness to it, and it's good. It's a good fragrance, and it actually gets me a lot of compliments. And surprisingly, I think this is an eau de cologne concentration. This was also very hard to get in the UK, by the way, a few years ago. There was hardly any of these, so whenever I saw it, I picked it up straight away. It's actually quite a cool bottle design looking at it. But this one has actually surprisingly got beast mode performance. This has got such a good scent trail. It lasts such a long time. It is very synthetic. It has like that kind of toilet cleaner smell to it, to be honest. But I actually surprisingly get a lot of compliments on this. And it kind of stops me from buying Virgin Island Water, because I don't really go out to many hot countries at the minute. I'm planning on doing it in the future, but I don't really go to that many hot places, and I know that Virgin Island Water literally lasts about an hour before it goes, before it turns to a skin scent. And I just can't see myself picking that up, because what I'm looking for a Creed fragrance is something that can be like my signature smell. So that's why I'm not picking up Virgin Island Water, because I would probably wear it once or twice in the summer, when I could just have save myself £260 and just get myself St. Bart's instead. Another one on the list, just looking at the website, is Aventus Absolute, and I've actually got another sample here, which Creed actually sent out to me, Aventus Absolute, and for the price, this is just, there's no point. Like, it's similar to Aventus, and it's similar to this, and this cost me £30. This would cost me £320, so this is 10 times the price. This, if I got it in a bottle form, is 10 times the price of this. And for that, it's just stupid. And even though it's limited edition, I don't think this is worth the money at all. So that's off the table. That is out of the question. We've talked about Aventus. Green Irish Tweed. Now, that I think was one of the first Creed fragrances that I smelled, and I love that one. It is so good. It's so amazing. It's such a nice fragrance. The quality on the actual Green Irish Tweed is just next level. It's been out for quite a while though, and there's been a lot of decent clones out there. I know there's the mainstream one, which is Davidoff Cool Water, and that's the annoying thing about this fragrance really, is because it is so good and it was copied, most people, if I spray it on myself whenever I've had the samples of it, I ask people what they think I'm wearing, and they always say that I'm either wearing Axe or Lynx, or they say that I'm wearing Cool Water. And if I want that for my signature scent, I don't want people to, if they didn't know me and I didn't actually tell them that I'm wearing Green Irish Tweed, I didn't want them to think I'm just wearing average Cool Water. That being said, like I said, I know it is such a nice fragrance, and Armoff actually do another clone. They do a lot of Creed clones. So I actually decided to just pick myself up this little dumb reach bottle of Très Nuit. So I actually picked this up, and because it's such an easy spring, summertime fragrance, I'll just spray it on myself if I don't know what to wear. And it is close. I'd probably say this is about 80% close to the Green Irish Tweed. Obviously it's got a synthetic smell to it, especially for the first 10-20 minutes. But on the dry down, and similar to the actual performance of Green Irish Tweed, it does become a skin scent fairly quickly. I'll probably say after like the 2 hour mark of projection. But the Très Nuit one, because of this synthetic stuff in there, this thing can blast out performance for about 3-4 hours before it starts to get a skin scent. This one works really well on my skin as well for some reason. And I really, really like this one. So for me, I can't see myself getting a bottle of Green Irish Tweed just because I've got this, the performance of it isn't the best, and also if I were to have it as my signature, most people would think I'm wearing Cool Water by Davidoff, so Green Irish Tweed's out of the question. Next one I can see here is Aventus Cologne. Similar to the other Aventus, I've got this one, so if I ever have this in the summertime, I would most likely just be wearing this. Or because this has that kind of Chanel Allure kind of smell to it as well, I've got this. And in the summertime, I can just reach for this. This one is, I think, one of my most complimented fragrances. I absolutely love the smell of it. And this, I would actually probably say, at one point in time for a few years, was actually my signature scent. And I got so many compliments on it, and I love wearing it. And you could wear it all year round. So for me, I wouldn't be picking up Aventus cologne because I've already got an Aventus cologne, and I've also got this one here instead. So again, another one has been beaten out by another fragrance, which is this one. Another one I can see on the list here, and I actually don't have a clone of this one, and that's Royal Oud. This one I know is a good fragrance, and this one, if I was older, I would pick this up. But because I'm fairly young, I don't think that I could pull this one off. I don't think I could pull it off, annoyingly, because I know it's such a nice fragrance. It's done really well. It's that nice kind of cedar wood, more than like an oud wood. But for some people, they can pull it off amazing, and I've actually smelt this on a few people, and it's such a good fragrance. But annoyingly, I don't think I can pull it off, so that is why I can't get Royal Oud. Next up is Viking, and I actually considered this at one point when it first came out. I actually considered picking it up, but then I trialed it a little bit more. I got a 5ml sample. I wore it to sixth form when I was in sixth form, and it actually didn't get me any compliments. It actually got me a negative compliment. Someone actually told me I smelt like cranberry toothpaste, and ever since someone told me that, that's all I can think of whenever I actually try this one out, which is annoying. And again, This is that kind of barbershop, Old Spice kind of fragrance. And for some people, that is great. This could be their signature fragrance. It's done really well, I will admit. There's got some really nice like pink pepper in there, and it's done really nice, to be honest. And the dry down's really nice too. But for me, I don't think I can pull it off, and because I've had a negative experience with it, I personally won't be picking up a bottle of Viking. And that also goes for Viking cologne as well. That's just a weaker, more expensive version of Viking, so there's just going to be no reason to get that one. The next 4 are kind of linked together, and that is going to be Royal Water, Neroli Sauvage, Erolfa, and Himalaya. Now, these have all got a similar kind of Creed style to them, where they've all got that like ambergris, sandalwood, like nice dry down smell to them. But all of those 4, the projection isn't that good at all, and they hardly last at all. And because they've all got that citrus opening, after a while they actually apparently start to go bad fairly easily on the first kind of initial spray to them. And because they don't last that long, when you're spraying it on, if it does eventually go bad, the fragrance is basically ruined because you're spraying the best hour of the projection, and for half of that it smells not that good because the fragrance is spoiled, because of the top notes, because of the citrus. It just happens. And annoyingly, I think out of all 4 of them, the most likely I'd go for is Erolfa, just because it's got that really nice dry down. It's got that like sea breeze kind of smell to it, but that one's got apparently the worst performance out of all of them, which is quite annoying. So that's why I wouldn't go for those 4. Another 2 I'm going to categorise is going to be Bois de Portugal and Tambourone Millésime. Those 2, they're kind of that old sort of style, like polo green, I think, kind of smell to them, like spicy wood. For me, I think just for my age, I don't think I could pull them off. No doubt that they're good fragrances. Bois de Portugal is really good in my opinion. Only problem is I just don't think I could pull it off. I'll categorise all these ones. You've got Sublime Vanille, Spice Wood, Pure White Cologne, I've heard is just the worst performance ever. Jardin d'Amalfi, and then Zesty Mandarin, Green Neroli, Iris Tuberose, and Veta Geranium. For me, I just feel like those ones are just redundant, especially because you have to splash them on for the most case, because they're all in the flacons. So for me, I prefer to just spray and go as opposed to like patting it all down and stuff like that. So for me, and also for the price too, I don't think I'd be picking up any of those. The next 2 we are going to categorise as well, and that is Original Vetiver and Original Santal. Now, I've actually got 2 of the clones. Well, not really clones, I don't think, because these 2 fragrances were made first, I think, and that's Mont Blanc Individual, which is an Original Santal inspired one, or the other way around, and then this one here, Mugler Cologne. This is the Original Vetiver inspired one. And in the air, these actually smell basically identical. The closer you go, if you were to spray it on your hand, you can definitely tell, like, this is just super synthetic. You can tell straight away that this has got like a million different things in there. And the Original Santal, the sandalwood in there, is the best. It's so good. It's that kind of warm spiciness to it. But because I've got this one and the projection's very good, the performance is very good, and when you are wearing it, you can smell it. Like, you can smell the projection of it, and when it's in the air, it smells identical. So for that reason, I'm not going to be picking up Original Santal, because I've got this one. This one's got better performance and it came out first. And Original Vetiver, I thought about it. This one I was very close to getting was Original Vetiver, because I love the smell of Mugler Cologne. I love the smell of Original Vetiver, that kind of soapiness to it. But it's quite boring. It's not, it's fairly forgettable. You just smell like fresh soap. And I think I've only had one compliment on this, And for the price, it just makes sense to get a 300ml of this one. You can see I've had a lot of this one. It makes sense to just get a 300ml bottle of Mugler cologne and just spray in a bit more of it, and just kind of matching the performance of original vetiver. So these two, original Santal and original vetiver, I'm going to be sticking with these two. Which then leads us on to the last two, which I'll get this one out of the way first of all, and you'll kind of see a pattern for the final one, which we're going to be talking about. The next one is Silver Mountain Water. And I haven't actually got the main clone, which everyone's talking about, and that's Sillage. That is another Armarth one, and apparently the clone of that is so good. It's actually apparently almost better, overall, than the actual Silver Mountain Water. I've actually not got the clone of it, but I've got this one here, which is along the same lines, Al Rahab Silver, and this is like £5, and the atomizer on this is insanely good. That is like original Creed fire hose right there. The atomizer on this is amazing, and this doesn't last that long, but if you're like struggling on what to really wear and you want something nice and fresh, I just spray this on really quickly. I go crazy with the sprays because it's £5 for this bottle here. I've got about 3 of them, and that's kind of what you want really with Silver Mountain Water, is just something that you can wear, something nice, something fresh, if you step up the shower or something, and that's kind of what I've been using with this. And I can't see myself picking up a full bottle of Silver Mountain Water because I've got this. The projection only lasts about an hour anyway for the original Silver Water. It's got a similar problem where over time it goes bad apparently quite quickly because of the citrus in there. And I may as well, if what people are saying, I may as well just get the Sillage clone because it smells so similar. So I think whenever I finish this little bottle, I'm not going to be picking up Silver Mountain Water. I'm going to be getting myself Sillage instead. So that leads us on to the final one on Creed's website, and that is Millesime Imperial. That, for me, I feel like could be the one I end up going with. That's probably going to be the closest one because that was the first Creed I ever smelled. It blew my head away. I set myself the goal a few years ago to actually buy myself that, and I was this close to buying it. And then COVID happened and stuff like that, so I didn't actually go through. And in that time, they actually brought out, Armarth, again, brought out this, Milestone. And Milestone, the bottle is a blatant rip-off of Millesime Imperial. This one actually performs better and smells very, very similar to Millesime Imperial. I did used to have a, what was it called? Love and Luck by Ed Hardy. That smelled horrible. It went bad straight away after like 6 months. And that put me off the fragrance for quite a while just because of how bad that one actually went off and so quickly. So I picked myself up this because Millesime Imperial is my favourite fragrance of all time, I think. Nothing's beaten it in terms of smell. So I bought this up to kind of bring myself back into loving it again. And it does a really good job. This is actually so nice. I'm actually going to spray it now. Yeah, and I mean, even this one, the opening's quite harsh, but whenever it comes like the dry down, and similar with these two, is when it's in the air, it smells basically the exact same. It's only whenever you get really close that you can tell the difference in quality. And this one, it's only like £30. It lasts a lot longer, and you can spray this a lot. You know it's going to project well. You know it's going to last a long time. And then on the dry down, this smells very, very similar. Obviously, it can't compete with the quality of Creed, but the Creed Millesime Imperial doesn't last that long at all. Whereas this one, because it has got that synthetic ambroxan in it, it does last longer. And then in the dry down, it smells quite similar, in my opinion. So if we're being honest, I think the closest one out of all the Creed lineup I would end up going with is Millesime Imperial. But for now, I've got this, and it's such a similar clone that I personally can't see myself, unless I really wanted it to, for myself, because I would know the difference, of course, in quality. I would get Millesime Imperial as well as this. So that's my problem with Creed. I don't know what fragrance to buy. Don't get me wrong, like I said at the start of the video, I love all of the Creed fragrances. They're all absolutely amazing. The quality is so good. I love the story of the company and stuff like that, if it is true. But with the performance issues and all like the clones and stuff that have come out, I really am in a weird situation where I don't know what one to get. So that's my problem with Creed. I hope you all like this video. It's my first like fragrance video. I just thought I would sit down and film this one because I was on the website and I just didn't know which one to pick up. If you guys would like to see a review of all the different fragrances I've got an extra like 50 different ones that I have tried over the last few years. I've also got a bunch of different samples that I'm currently trying for my next purchases. So if you've never seen any of my videos before, which I don't expect you have because this would be my first one, then don't forget to subscribe to stay up to date with more fragrance related videos, top 10s, reviews, what not to buy, clone battles, that kind of thing. And that's basically it. So thank you all for watching, and comment below which one you think I should pick up.